Good evening, Gooners. Welcome to In the North Bank. I'm on to tonight with Des the Enforcer. Evening, Des.
Evening, mate. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
yeah, it's all good, all good. Wow, it's been a long time since streaming one of these shows. Match day previews. Yeah, we're gonna get straight to it and get these every single game, every single week. And yeah, just get the content going through the channel. Um, what a game to start with. Liverpool.
Yeah,
Oh dear. When we talk about Anfield,
that's the
I
history
have
of it.
chills.
Oh, mate, the history.
We've got so many chills that yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, and we've got yeah, there's oh nerves are jangling.
I must be
Join
honest. I've got to agree with you, mate. My nerves are jangling as well.
yeah
Not so much fear. It's it's the Anfield part of it. Do you know what? Do you know what I mean?
yeah yeah. We know exactly what that is, and
Yeah.
yeah, we'll go straight into it after this. Yeah, we're gonna need it. Yeah, so there's Anfield.
Yeah. Uh, it it's. Do you know what it is? It's like you know what I'm saying about Arsenal this season, where the fans are the 12th man.
Yeah,
Anfield have had that for the last decade, easy, haven't they? Their
yeah,
fans are like us. They're just they're just as mental, or maybe more mental. To be honest with you, you know. But yeah, it, thing is, and I agree. A lot of people, what my friends have said to me this week, we've got a lot of hoodoos off our back this season, i.e. Tottenham, other ones as well. And this could be the season that we get one of Liverpool's ones off our back as well. And I'll be honest with you, and I'm going to say it right at the beginning of the show, and I know it's a preview show, but and I say if we do beat Liverpool, I think we have got one hand on the trophy. Only one hand, but I think we've got one hand on the trophy.
yeah. So we've always known that there's still a lot of football to be played this season, and yeah, we picture those away games that we've got coming up, and we look at this game at Anfield. Then we look at the Etihad game, and yeah, should we avoid defeat? Yeah, a win would be amazing just for where we are, because again, people still doubt us. Still, yeah, we've got tough games to go. Um, we don't really know what Liverpool will turn up either, and this is and
Exactly.
this is the this is
Exactly.
the thing that's almost getting you as well, because you know how poor they've been this season. But they then pull out a result like they did at against Old Trafford, against Man United,
Exactly.
and you look at it and you see that kind of result, 7-0, which shows they have got a lot of quality there. But
Very sporadic this season, though, isn't it, Paul? Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? It's
yeah,
hit and miss, and very hit and miss. I mean, as well, we've had the week off if you think about it. They've had a loss against Chelsea as well. But they didn't show up for that game, I don't think. I'm hoping they don't show up on Sunday, you know?
yeah, they gave it 0-0. It was the Chelsea game.
Chelsea should have won it. Chelsea should have
Yeah,
won it.
two goals disallowed.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly. So
yeah,
they're not in a good place, Liverpool. They're not in such a good place as us. Let's put it that way. And
no,
it makes a good change. So that, as much as we're feeling negative, and we're only let's be honest, mate, we're only feeling negative because of history. As a team, we can go into this game really, really positively. You know,
yeah.
that's we haven't been able to say that for a while.
No, I'm going into it on the basis that I see this group as a totally different group to what we've had in the last 9, 10 years. And
Well,
I,
even if you go to last year, sorry for to cut you off.
yeah,
Even if you go to last year, we had Tavares at the back who made loads of mistakes. It was Tomiyasu and Cedric. That, you know, we had Aubameyang and Lacazette up front. They're not there no more. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? Xhaka wasn't in a good place this time last season. You know, so
yeah,
there's a lot of things. It's a much stronger team going to Anfield. Much stronger team.
yeah, and obviously a lot's kind of been said about having Zinchenko
Yeah,
available because yeah, it's obviously the first time that Zinchenko has obviously faced Liverpool
mm,
um, with ourselves,
mm,
and yeah, I just look at this group and they approach every game the same with that real passion, that real desire, and that a real want to make things happen. And yeah, we haven't got a great record. Last 9 games we've had in the league, 7 losses, 2 draws,
mm.
and some of those losses are obviously calamitous and just really poor. 4
The
nils,
4-0,
3-1s,
4-0
no
last
goals.
week was calamitous, wasn't it? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
I mean, we had
um,
to in the first half last season,
yeah,
and then they got a set piece, and that was it. The floodgates opened.
yeah. But that was it, and it was a lot was made last season of Arteta and Klopp and
Mm.
a little
Yeah,
spat. Um,
that needs to be put to bed. That does.
yeah, I thought a lot of it was made, and it was like it was a real kind of blame Arteta kind of moment where he's riled up the stadium, and it was like, well, it didn't it really. It wasn't that wasn't the reason why suddenly we end up losing the game, and it was more the fact that Liverpool were really turning the screw, and
Mm.
yeah, they had a couple of chances, and Ramsdale made a unbelievable save just after it. Then we actually nearly go and score. We had a really good chance before they then got that first goal. For Mane was a little header in the corner, wasn't it?
Exactly.
And
And if
then
we'd have scored first, it could have been a totally different story.
again, yeah, because Anfield again just it does go a little bit awry. And look, I say certainly this season when you picture how they've been, and if we start early and we get at them really quickly, wow, it could be a very interesting game. And I look back and I think back to obviously 1989, and you think about those kind of like
Oh,
joyous
no,
kind of
favourite
times.
game of all time, that, mate, for me.
No, I know, but you look you take those little things, and then there
Yeah,
were some decent like moments that we've had at Anfield. Obviously, that obviously being probably our best kind of one that we've had there. But even I mean, just some of those cup games we've had over there,
well, the
and
last time we beat them was that where Santa Cazorla. Am I right in saying?
yeah, it's got to be. I was trying to work it out, and it was
Is it? Where are we now? Is it? Oh, gee. It's over 10 years, isn't it?
yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah,
But yeah, I said the last since 2013,
yeah.
just 2 draws to our name, and it's just yeah,
I
it
mean,
might,
you go on Arsenal history, you wouldn't think that a team would last 10 years on you, would you?
no,
Do you know what I mean?
no,
Crazy.
it is crazy, but you do look at it and you just think, well, records are there to be broken as well, and as
Exactly.
I say, we hadn't won at Tottenham for X amount of years and everything like that, and look what we did earlier in the season.
Tottenham
And
early.
yeah, look, it's one of those. It's just
Yeah,
if we approach that game, it will be a decent game, and we'll get a result. Um,
yeah.
but again, we've got to show up, haven't we? We've got to come in, um, and actually just really get the game to them, because I think if we can actually start really fast and we get that tempo and we start passing the ball around, I don't think the midfield's going to be able to deal with it.
I don't think their midfield can deal with it anyway, and I agree with you. I think we have to be in the first 20 minutes for Arsenal. Something has to happen.
It's
Yeah,
important, isn't it?
yeah.
Really important.
I've got a question for you, Paul. Right? I mean, I'm going to start with a statement and then a question. Right? So, Arteta has said what is the change in say, for example, we were talking about this before, but the change in Xhaka. And he, in his interview today, he said, "Flick the switch, it's mentality," and it totally is. But he's playing in the right position. He knows he's got people behind him that if he messes up, they'll back him up. You know, this is how Arsenal are playing now. But it's like, who do you think the front three will be against Liverpool?
I think it's going to be the same. I don't. I think he's still going to play Jesus.
So
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna agree with you because what I'm going to add a caveat to that, right? Okay, I think. Sorry, I think on Sunday the impact player is going to be Trossard, who might come on in the 60th minute and then boom. I mean, Trossard likes playing against Liverpool as well, doesn't he? But
yeah,
Jesus has been amazing since I'm amazed how quick Jesus has got back into it. I thought it would take him maybe till the end of the season to get back in and get comfort, but he's comfortable within 2 or 3 games, isn't he? Bang,
yeah,
there you go, have it. You
yeah. No, obviously he's obviously got a hat trick already against Liverpool earlier in the season, so.
Trust that, yeah, yeah.
He's certainly got form. He certainly has played obviously with that atmosphere as well. And for someone coming into that squad and obviously had that positive kind of moment, yeah, will he provide some good moments there? And as I say, you hit the nail on the head. There's impact, and you're suddenly thinking about this is where the difference is with our bench now. There are players to come on that will make an impact.
Well, even Reese Nelson and Eddie.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, no, definitely. And yeah, what I see is just that there are just so many options just in and around it. Just I mean, you can pull out Jesus, you can put in Trossard. Look, you've still got Eddie potentially coming back, and this was an interesting one. Obviously, we're talking about the press conference, and Mikel Arteta. No
Yeah,
real
oh,
change to the rest of the players who are still injured. We have some hope with one of them tomorrow, but maybe he'll be able to train. So there's the big debate. Which one is he talking about? Is it Saliba? Is it then potentially Nketiah? And this is the Twitter kind of the Twitter clusos are trying to work out who it is. And look,
well, Arteta likes to keep his cards to his chest. Yeah,
yeah,
but I'm thinking back to when he said Trossard wasn't ready, right?
yeah,
And then Trossard, and then Trossard played. So, it's a toss of a coin. But for me, tomorrow, more than anything, and I'm not going to take anything away from Rob Holding because since he came in, he's done really well. Okay, I think he's changed as a player. I think but if there was one place we really need for tomorrow, for Sunday, did I say tomorrow? I meant Sunday. For Sunday, yeah, it's possibly Saliba back. But I'm not going to lose my head if he isn't. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because I feel that Rob Holding's proven himself this season as well. And you've got to give credit where credit's due and give him his flowers because at the end of the day, he's been dropped in because of an injury, which obviously happens. But I've been watching Rob, and I think, do you know what? You've changed as a footballer. You're taking your time. You're getting to balls now. You're getting. What was it? Leeds? Did you notice he was getting to the first ball every time against Leeds?
I
Every time he was getting to the first ball.
I find he is again when we talk about a squad and having balance. Um, he's that player that you kind of need where when things get a little bit tough, it gets a little bit. raw. Hence why he used to always come on and just to shore up the defence, because
Yeah,
he's a natural defender, one of a dying breed. You know what I mean? Proper old school English defender who is up for a battle, up for a physical encounter. And yeah, look, he comes in and he reads the game pretty well. The blocks, I think, are really important. And yeah, coming in, making the challenges. And yeah, I see it as he's a really useful defender. And he gets a lot of flack for not a lot, to be honest, because
yeah,
again,
I
you don't
agree.
hear from him, you don't hear him moaning about it. He'll do a job.
No,
Um,
I agree, mate.
he's good with the group as well. Apparently, he's a well liked kind of player on in that squad.
A team player. He's definitely
Yeah.
a team player.
So I think just Rob Holden in general. I think that, again he's been hung out by some fans because of obviously last season at White Lane,
Yeah.
and the only way I see that is that he tried to, he had a personal grief with Son, and that
Yeah.
was going back to 2018 when Son died for a penalty at the Emirates.
Oh, cool. Yes, yes, yes.
And he dived, Holding slid in, and he's dived away from him, and there was no contact, and he's went over and got the penalty, and
Yeah,
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 and that was that. We won. We still won the game, but again, when we look at Holding, and you're thinking about he's come in for a game, or he's had a period of a few games, then a penalty happens against him, and something happens, we don't win the game. He's then out of the team because he's made a mistake potentially. And you're
mm,
suddenly thinking, well, yeah, if I'm not first choice, when that player comes back in, I'm out. So straight up, it's one of those, and I think that was probably the first time he faced obviously Tottenham since that time.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you're thinking when he's not been on the pitch from that moment, he's had a point to prove, and then obviously that was it. And it
yeah,
started off really early, and Son got a little bit rough with him as well, threw out the elbow, and yeah, unfortunately, he just went a little bit too far and just saw the red mist and just got a bit too tight to him. And yeah, the rest was history. But yeah, apart from that, I think he was part of. I don't know whether it was in that season in 2018 where I think we had quite a few clean sheets with
yeah.
him actually in there. So look, there's a decent defender in there, and yeah, I don't think I'd be too worried if he
Talking of
played or
clean
not.
sheets, we need to get one against Liverpool.
It would go a long way, wouldn't it?
It would. It would.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get back. I'll tell you
We're
what,
gonna,
3 clean sheets would be nice.
yeah.
You got Liverpool, you got then West Ham, and then Southampton. So that would be nice.
And then if we could get one against Newcastle as well, that would be a bonus.
Yeah, well,
But
it's
um,
time to get tight now, isn't it?
yeah, I mean it's down to the nitty gritty, isn't it? It's you know,
Look, this is where it means we can't be giving sloppy goals. And we talk
no,
about it, it's much easier to win a game when we're not conceding. So if we
yeah,
get back to being secure, and then we go back and we actually just go and get a 1-0 win or whatever like that. You know what I mean? It's better than having to try and score 2 or 3, and it's like, well, yeah, get back to basics and make sure we're secure. And
we would have got a clean sheet against Leeds last week because if it hadn't have been Zinchenko on the back, Rambo had it covered.
yeah,
So it's happened.
yeah, it's what it is.
But if you break down the Liverpool team as well, Paul, their
Yep,
midfield ain't that strong this season, right? Uh, if you break down the defence, Trent can be got at. Van Dijk isn't the player he was, and Allison, even though I do rate him highly as a goalkeeper, has a mistake in him. So they're positives, and let's be honest, Mo Salah without Mane is not hitting it as hard as he usually is. Do you know what I mean? So there's lots of pros and cons, and there's more pros towards Arsenal than there is towards Liverpool.
yeah. No, I think if we actually pushed them and we pressed them really high, I think it was testament when we played them in the cup. when we were down to 10, and even before we were down to 10, we were pressing them high up, and they looked shaky, they looked wobbly, and I think even in the league game, I think before obviously it all went a little bit south, and we were pushing high, and
Yeah,
look, they can be got at, and as I say, with the way we are as a group, I think it's anything can happen, and this is why I say it's one of those, and you think when you've got Saka and you've got Odegaard on the pitch, it's got everything for an unbelievable game of football, and I think that's all you can really say. It's one of those where it probably could go anywhere, couldn't it? It could go any way,
yeah.
you
And
know.
as we said earlier, the first 20 minutes are going to be a big show on the game. To be honest, whatever happens in the first 20 minutes will be it'll set the precedent. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, definitely, and yeah, I think there's a lot of players again that have got a lot, and I think this season has probably epitomised it, where we struggled so much last season, we suffered a lot last season, and certainly towards the latter part of the season, and there was a few wrongs that had to be written over to make them right again, and you look at that White Hart Lane last season to this season.
yeah,
You look at Newcastle; it's going to be a dogged game over there, I'm sure, but there'll be big kind of like feelings that they want to kind of write something there, because
yeah,
yeah, they didn't show for that game, and I'd say the Liverpool game as well. I think they deserved more from the game, because I thought they'd done really well up until the point that Liverpool scored. I think even after they scored, we showed glimpses, but then after that we got caught a couple of
yeah,
goals.
yeah.
Really, really,
I see it this way, Paul. Last season was the practice run.
yes, yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
And I mean, at the beginning of the week, Klopp was saying Arsenal should fear us. Well, Klopp, Mr. Klopp, you're entitled to your opinion. That's fine. But have you not noticed that every match this season, Arsenal hasn't feared anybody? Even Man City, we haven't feared them. We've been beaten by clubs, yeah. That not that we feared, but just been lucky on the day, i.e., Man United, Everton, right? Because we were
yeah.
robbed against Man United, but we won't go over that again. But
No, no,
but we didn't fear them. We were outplaying them until they took the lead. You know,
yeah,
it's no
yeah.
Arsenal don't fear anyone this season. We don't fear anyone in this Premier League.
No, definitely. As I say, it's just that mentality, isn't it? And we talk about Arteta and his press conference saying about Xhaka as well. And yeah, something switched on in the head. But look, I think it's those positions that he takes up now, and being able to kind of have that license to kind of roam free a little bit more. And
Well, let's be honest. Zinni's not a left back, is he?
I can't describe what he is. There's only
I mean, he's put down as a left back, but he's not a left back.
no, but no, you look at it, and it's just yeah, he's there, but
Yeah,
again, just
yeah,
tucked in.
yeah,
And it's the whole rotation side of things. When he goes inside, Xhaka drifts out wide. You've got
yeah,
Martinelli in and around there, and you form another triangle. There's always a triangle there, and you look at that kind of area where you've got yeah Xhaka, Martinelli, could be Trossard, and then that player that's tucking in that middle, whether or not it is actually Partey or Zinchenko actually still on that in that little midfielder like role, then that ball gets moved on and progressed up the pitch. But it's just I think just everywhere on that pitch now where we seem to be getting a lot more joy and a lot more controlled.
well, here's another thing, Paul. Right, Trossard, right? Okay, like you said, Martinelli comes in, Trossard goes out. Yeah, Saka comes in, Trossard goes out. He plays all three positions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what I
and
love.
he's still able to get assists as well, and he still wants to score as well. I mean, Oh, mate, that one last week for Jesus was on a plate for him, really.
Yeah,
Yeah?
it's lovely.
And it's like Odegaard. I was watching Odegaard before he dinked that ball over to Xhaka. So I'd like to also just say as well, if you remember right on the big Sunday show back when I first started coming on, I said Xhaka would score 10 goals in all competitions this season. And do you know what? He still might do it.
Yeah, I said that before. I was
Yeah,
on one of the other channels. I said
yeah.
I expect him to get double figures.
And that goal, that was a poacher. I mean, the ball from what it's like Odegaard's got the ball stuck to his foot. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm not joking. That was a poacher's goal. Yeah, and we can do things like that to Liverpool this weekend. That's what I was coming round to. And even if you do say you do take Jesus off, say at 60 minutes, let's just be hypothetical, right? So you take Jesus off at
yeah,
60 minutes, Trossard comes on. Even though Jesus' level is up here, Trossard keeps it at that level. So I don't think if you bring Trossard on for Jesus or vice versa, whatever the case may be, right, you're not losing any levels. And that's been a difference for Arsenal this season as well. The levels have stayed solid. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah. No, definitely.
I think I think it should be Liverpool fearing us and not us fearing Liverpool, to be honest with you. But there we go.
I find it interesting. I say it's it's a dynamic that we haven't really felt with like for a long time, where we've kind of gone in
That's
as
very true.
potential favourites. You know, it's one of
Yeah,
those. You look at it, and Arteta alluded to it as well. He said about where when we play at home at the Emirates, it's a really hard place to go, just like it is
well,
at Anfield.
I'll be honest, mate. It's like shout out to Glenn with Green Matters. I was on his show last week, and we were summing things up, sort of thing. And I said, one thing I am enjoying this season is not only the way we're playing, obviously, but we're the hunted instead of being the hunters. And I'd rather be hunted than a hunter because we've got points on the board.
Yep.
Yes, it gives you a kind of pressure, but it's no way the same sort of pressure as what Man City will be feeling. And what I'm liking about Sunday as well, Man City play first.
Yeah.
I love it when Man City play first
Yeah.
because then then all the negative people are going, oh look, yeah, they're only 5 points in front now, and then Arsenal just come out and go, you know what, we're still going to be 8 points in front at the end of it.
Yeah. Look, we look at this game, and this is what I say about this as being really pivotal as well, because should we get the result and win on Sunday,
Yeah,
we go 11 points. Oh, sorry, but back to 8 points. Sorry,
yeah,
if obviously City go there, but we then play another two games, I think, before they then play again in the league. So we could actually be 3 games ahead of them, but with the points on the board.
yeah. Even though they'll still have their game in hand, won't they?
Yeah, they still have the yeah. So they'll have another 2 games in hand, but we'll be
Oh,
playing obviously
yeah,
another one. So
yeah,
we'll yeah, they've got FA Cup I think it's just how it works. Yeah, I'm pretty certain it is. It's either we play another game, then they have FA Cup. It's yeah, they done a breakdown on the fixtures, and it was just like, oh yeah, we've got to play, and then they've obviously got Champions League and everything like that. So
and you never know, Paul. I mean, what they're playing Southampton this weekend, aren't they?
Southampton away.
Now,
Um,
Southampton might do us a favour. You just don't know. You can't tell this season.
Look, but they beat them in the cup, and as I say, they haven't showed too many glimpses that they could potentially cause that upset. But then sometimes that is also a hard thing as well because yeah, if a team's not really showing it, and then all of a sudden they come up against the big team, and then all of a sudden, bang!
Mm.
You know, it only takes a Ward Prowse free kick or something like that to really suddenly set it all up like
They're,
early
fight,
on.
they're fighting for their life as well.
Yeah, well, that's it. They've got to start somewhere, haven't they? And at the
They
end of
have.
the day,
If
that's
they
it.
get against
So
Man City, that would be amazing.
yeah, well, that's it. Let's hope. Let's hope.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
just gonna pop into the live chat. John the Gooner
Even
is in the
John.
house. Evening Gooners. 3-0 Arsenal, Jesus hat trick. Not
I
not
go for it
a
at Arsenal, but I don't think it'll be a Jesus hat trick.
Eddie Brace. No, is that?
Uh, no, hmm. Martinelli, Jesus, Trossard if he comes on. If not, Odegaard. That's my three.
Yeah, I'll take a 1-0 Van Dijk own goal. Yeah,
Or
that.
maybe Benny Blanco. You know what I mean? Benny Blanco at the far corner.
No, Van Dijk own goal will be fine.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
easy
take
with
that
that. Yeah,
all. Yeah,
1-0, one
yeah.
nil to
Why
the
not?
Arsenal.
Hey, John, why couldn't we have a Van Dijk hat trick?
Yeah,
And go hat trick. Yes,
yes,
John,
mate.
I remember. Don't you worry.
Do you remember that pint of Newcastle ale? You owe me.
I do, John. Don't worry, son. Don't
Never
worry.
gonna let that one down, are you? No,
He ain't gonna let it go, is he?
no. It's not gonna be long, is it? Because look, 6, 7 weeks. Well, about 6 weeks
Yeah,
ish. God,
yeah.
time is flying. Yeah, Martinelli, Jesus, and Saka.
I
That's
forgot
our
about
front
Saka.
three.
4-0 then. One for Saka as well.
Yeah. So that was it. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting because, as I say, Jesus goes out and comes on as an impact player potentially because I think at some point of the game we're going to have to stretch them, and this is why I kind of like Eddie, and I'd like Eddie to be that little bit more of a player that would be used to kind of turn the defence, so balls in behind to allow him to use his pace, but he doesn't. He's still trying up there. Obviously, doesn't really change the way Arsenal playing, but Arteta when he's there, and you're suddenly thinking that little extra or different kind of player. They're all kind of similar. He's tried to do a Jesus role, wasn't he? Whenever he was playing, um, and you're just thinking, does Jesus Trossard hold the ball up well and keep that ball retention? Because I think that's going to be a real key as well. Controlling the game, controlling the tempo, and making sure that Liverpool don't have those moments in the game because we know that they'll be straight up for the counter attacks and set up for counter attacking like they did um, against who was it?
Well, they did it against Man U when they scored the 7, didn't they?
Yeah, they scored the 7, but then no, who were they playing before us? The week like
Oh, good. Yeah.
was it Chelsea? Was it? No, it weren't Chelsea. It was it? Oh, it's Man City, wasn't it? Of course it was.
Man City, yes.
Yeah, sorry, it's the first game back, wasn't it? After
Yeah,
interval. So yeah, so they done exactly the same, didn't they? And their
yeah.
first goal just literally just like picked them off. And yeah, really, really good. When they play fast and they've got the players there, they could be really, really decent. But what we need to do is make sure that we don't.
I mean, Jota's a dangerous little player, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not. Again, I don't know what we're expecting from Liverpool actually, like as in like players and everything like that, because I know they've got some players that are coming back, Diaz and everything like that. It looks like they're going to be too short to start again, but I just
Gakpo could be a problem.
yeah,
I'm
God,
not too worried about Darwin Nunes. I don't rate that lad. Just,
no. Thiago is the one in midfield which I
he's not going
think
to be there, though, is
he looks like he's going to be back. They've got three players I think that they were like literally ready,
he? I thought
but
he
they're
wasn't
not.
going to be there.
No, well, Thiago, they seem to think that he's going to be involved, but that Diaz, they've said it's not going to be involved until the following week.
Uh,
So, um, yeah, if he comes into a midfield, it's a little bit of better option than, say, one of their other ones that are flagging. But I imagine it's going to be like Fabinho, Henderson, and then him kind of just
Fabinho can be a bit of a, or not can be, he has been a bit of a problem for us in the past. And he,
just a spoiler. That's it, and it's like it's one of those, and you look at the size of him, and I
yeah,
remember them playing in the cup last year, and he was playing. I think he was playing in defence with part of the three in defence, and they just looked massive. They just like a total dwarfed anything Arsenal had, and it was just like men versus like little boys, and they were just like literally just like batting them off and just all game. So yeah, I don't know. He's one of those players that you just he's not a bad player, but as I say, is it catching up with them all? Just with how Klopp wants them to play, and that is cover every blade of grass, chase after every ball, and like I say, they're not getting any younger. And yeah, the game's moved on again, and it's Liverpool haven't really strengthened in the areas that they really needed to.
I mean, there's even a chance that Milner could be on the pitch, isn't
Yeah, yeah,
there? He's got his slippers and his cap and his bike now, hasn't he, really? Don't get me wrong, good player in his day, but
still got an engine on him. But still be absolutely flying around, wouldn't
I suppose, yeah. Yeah, I think Jesus. I'm hoping Jesus or Trossard or even Martinelli just run circles around Van Dijk.
he? Just passing around him, that's it.
Yeah,
And it'll be really really good for it
yeah,
to happen. I'll tell you what, if we go through and actually have a really comfortable game, I don't know. I'm not sure how I'd react if we just suddenly went there. It was like the Brentford game or something like that, where you suddenly think it's just so not like an Arsenal performance.
yeah.
And you're just looking at it and you just think, oh, if that happens at Anfield, I'll be like, oh, that karma,
Cheers, Ian.
so
Thanks,
good.
mate.
Yeah.
He just wished to say Happy Easter, mate. I'll just say same to you, John. Thanks.
Oh yes, yeah, John. Yeah, happy Easter, mate, and yeah, everyone watching on and probably tune in later or whatever. Yeah, happy Easter to all you Gooners. Um, prediction.
Prediction. Here we go. Do you know what? Just before I give you my prediction, Paul, it's so hard to predict an Arsenal game this season because we've got goals coming from so many different players.
14 different players.
It makes it really hard to actually predict the scoreline. I'm going to be fair. I know I said 4, but I'm going to be fair. My heart's saying 3-0. My head's saying 2-1.
Yeah. I was going or earing on the 2-1 side, but I'd happily take a rerun of 1989. And
Oh, I'd take that all day.
I'll take 2-0. I'll take that all day long. As I say, a 1-0 Van Dijk own goal, straight 25-yard deflected shot straight in the top corner.
Mate, if it won us the league, I'd take 9-1-0s for the rest of the season, mate.
But we're getting this. This is what I say. It's just making sure that we are hard to beat again, and just making sure that we don't give away silly, sloppy goals. Because, yeah, as I say, it's bad and always hard enough trying to win games when you're playing well, but when you're giving someone an opportunity to, you know what I mean, make it just, you know what I mean, just to give them an advantage, and then you're clawing it back, and yeah. We've just got to be solid and take our chances. And if we can still carry on being as dynamic as we are and sharing the goals around, then we've got no problem there. I think it'll be really, really good to see just how we deal with it. Yeah.
And we can't depend on other teams to do us favours. Like, I know we just said about Southampton against Man City. We can't depend on it.
No.
It can happen. We've got to do our business our way, right?
That's it. Well, no one wins matches wins tournaments because of other teams.
Yeah.
We've got to.
Nice if they did it, it would be nice.
Yeah. We'll take it. It's like, yeah, just if anything to get this over the line a little bit quicker. It's all good.
Yeah.
The next 3 games massive because obviously that is obviously before we go to the Etihad. And should we come away and actually have another 9 points on the board until we get to that point, I'll tell you what, that is a good position. And when we look at it like that,
I don't think Liverpool are going to. If we beat Liverpool as well, I don't think they're going to get top four this season.
I looked at it. It's pretty really close, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
I
I
mean, look,
looked at
Newcastle have suddenly gone third. You know.
yeah. So
So
yeah, Newcastle, Man United level on points. Man United with +5 goal difference though. That is ridiculous.
yeah,
Getting Champions League with +5.
yeah.
With Newcastle on +26.
Do you think Man City are more focused on the Champions League or the league?
I think there's going to be a point when they probably will. And this is why I said about Arsenal and the Europa League. It was interesting the way the draws were made because our Europa League game would have been in between the following weekend. So obviously with the West Ham game, and then the semi would have been, or yeah, the semi would have been in between the home Brighton game. And you're suddenly thinking it could have been a lot worse. It could have been in between the Liverpool and it could have been in between the Man City game. And you're suddenly thinking that's a reason for us to not really go for it because the league is more important in where we are.
Yeah,
Um, I think at the end of the day, but when with City on the other hand, yeah, they have still got the squad and numbers to still put out a team for everything. But there's going to come a time where look, this first lot against by Bayern is going to be massive,
yeah. I
and
mean, it's just my opinion, but I also feel that Man City have the easier running.
yeah,
You know, so we'll see. It's going to test the metal. It's going to test because you've got. I know we said Newcastle, but you can also really, with respect, you can chuck Brighton in there as well. You
yeah,
know, so
they're all close. They're all there, and it,
yeah. But remember, Paul, we haven't beaten anybody yet. Remember that.
well, no, we've only, yeah, no, that's it. It's, yeah, but when we do beat teams, it's only because they haven't turned up as well.
We've not
Um,
beaten anyone above us this season yet, Paul. Remember that as well.
I mean, there was a time where we kept on getting beaten on the early kickoffs, like the 12:30 kickoffs.
Yeah.
Now we're beating teams. Then we then get an excuse. Oh, they were still asleep. It was just
Right. We
yeah
haven't
the
beaten anybody decent yet. Yeah.
yeah. It's all mental. It's crazy.
It
Uh,
is.
but it is all that top four is massively tight there though because Brighton have got 2 games in hand
Mm. Mm-hmm.
on Tottenham, and if they win both of those, they go ahead of Tottenham in fifth.
Yeah, as long as Tottenham don't get it, I don't care. I don't get me wrong. I'd like to see Brighton in the top four because I think they've earned it.
Yeah, I think they've done
And
really well.
I'd like to see Newcastle in the top four because I think they've earned it.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, Chelsea, loving it.
Fat Frank has come back.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Frank at the
Anyway,
wheel. So yeah, no, I don't know. It was a I think it's a baffling one. That
yeah, isn't it?
yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit partly surprised he actually said yeah I'll come back after what they did to him.
Why get rid of him in the first place?
Yeah, well no, but just for pride side of things as well. You suddenly think, well, they got rid of me, and that said a lot, didn't it? It was like one of those where
Yeah,
you bummed him out straight away, and it's like, well, there's no respect side on their side. So why would you suddenly just go back? I don't know.
exactly.
Maybe it's
Exactly.
a second chance. Maybe he thinks he can maybe turn it around, or certainly maybe the club's in a better position than when he was there
Well,
originally.
saying that about coming back, the fans have been screaming for Mourinho, haven't they?
I can't imagine this wanting another term of him.
No,
Surely that last one was bad
enough.
enough.
Yeah, that was enough, wasn't it? I mean, I must admit, if I was Graham Potter right now, I'd be kicking myself because he was. I would have just stayed at Brighton.
Well, look, this is those stepping stones, isn't it? It's just one of those where it don't
I
always
know,
work out.
you know.
Yeah, he's gonna go back to another smaller club that will
He might
he
end up
needed
somewhere
the
like
project.
Norwich.
Well, look, he's suited to some place that has a project. Yeah, or there is a project. Chelsea are not a project team.
No.
As much as they say about this kind of vision or project that they're trying to do, like sign players on contracts for 10, 15, 20 years. And it's I'm sure if they throw enough mud that some of it will stick on the wall. It's just again, it's just another scattergun approach on their
Yeah,
signings, and it's just poor. It's just
we're
it's
buying him. We're buying him because we don't want you to have him.
yeah. Well, look,
It's that mentality, isn't it?
I'm pleased they got Mudrich. At the end of the day, when you compare us to then have Trossard, am I saying that Mudrich is a bad player? Probably not. But again,
I
if we're
think he's a good
spending
player. He's just not in the right team.
yeah, well, if we're spending that much money, we need a player still to be hitting the ground like Trossard has done.
That's right.
We're not,
We got Trossard for what, a third of the price?
yeah, we're not waiting for 6 months, 7 months for him to potentially suddenly get it and then start going because there's no guarantee that he will succeed in England because historically Ukrainian players coming over from the Ukrainian league haven't really been massively successful.
I mean, Zinchenko's the exception, really, isn't he?
Zinchenko's the one, but yeah, but he's obviously more over here. I'm trying to think who was he playing over in Ukraine before signing? He might have been somewhere else.
I thought he was, but I could be wrong. I thought he was. I thought he
Yeah.
was. Because I thought he was. Was he not a Shakhtar boy?
Let's have a look.
I mean, I could be totally barking. If the chat knows, please put it in the chat. But I thought he was a Shakhtar boy. You know? Even when we've gone off air, if you know the answer to that question, where did Zinchenko come from? And I don't mean the country. You obviously know the country. Which team? Put it in the chat whenever you want.
Yeah, signed Des Photo if
Photo, yeah. I'll get some done. I mean, I do shout outs anyway, don't I?
yeah, I know, of course, yeah, I know.
Whoever puts it in the chat after the show, or even in the show, get a shout out. There you go, massive shout out. And if you put it in
I'm
afterwards,
on there now, man.
you'll get the shout out next week. Is that all right, Paul?
Yeah, I think it'll be all right. I think it'll be fine.
I thought he was. I genuinely thought he was a Shakhtar boy. I really did.
There we go. I got it.
Shakhtar. I can.
Here we go. So he started at Shakhtar. Yeah. So he went through Shakhtar under 17s, 19s. He then had a career break. I don't know what that was for.
Okay.
And then ended up in Russia.
Right.
And then he signed to City from Ufa.
So I was kind of right. I was a Shakhtar boy, but I just got my dates wrong.
Yeah, so he signed for Man City there, and then went on loan to PSV, and then come back to City. And
Did they actually send him out on loan, did they?
Yeah, sent him out on 2016.
Oh right.
So so he's had a little, I suppose, a little kind of additional kind of Russia League compared to I was thinking more Rebrov and Shevchenko. When they come over to England, they never really hit the ground running. They didn't really hit it at all. So brilliant players, but they just couldn't hack it. And as I say, it's just not what we needed as a club and as a squad. A player that amazing.
Where was Belarus?
Belarus, was he?
Oh, it's Belarus, right? Okay, that's Russian, isn't it? That's fast as Russian, isn't it? Or is that Ukraine as well? Here you go. There's a question.
No, Bulgarian, mate. It's Bulgarian.
Oh, he's Bulgarian. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Well, he's totally out of the picture then.
Totally wrong.
Yeah, totally out of the picture. I couldn't remember where he was from.
Yeah, but
you got to admit he did all right.
Oh mate, he was again. He was like it was almost kind of like Bergkamp-esque kind of players,
Yeah,
um, and yeah, it
yeah,
was one of those just so seamless, wasn't he? And he was just one of those players. They've got that kind of languid kind of style where they don't look like they're really interested, but then they'll just pick up the ball and they'll go one way, they'll go the other
yeah.
way, and then produce some unbelievable bit of magic. And it's yeah, it was like yeah, Bergkamp was a little bit the same. He
Don't see
picked
him
up a
for 80 minutes. Don't see him for 80 minutes, and then suddenly the name just gets shouted out because the ball's in the back of the net.
But Canoe was a bit like that as well. But again, he was
Yeah,
just he'd have the ball at his feet, but his feet really wouldn't know what he's doing, or his head wouldn't know his head knew exactly what he's doing, but his feet were
yeah,
going kind of going all over the shop, and then he'd just do something unbelievable.
yeah. I
And
rated Canoe. I thought Canoe was a great player.
yeah, but it's
Thought he
just
was. Yeah, I know what you mean about his legs as well.
yeah, but it was like because obviously it was so lanky and it was just brilliant. It was just really good to see, and some of those goals he scored were just yeah,
Oh,
he was
mate.
a decent player. Got
Arsenal legend, mate. Arsenal legend.
so much time for that player. Really
Yeah,
good.
mate. And he was
Uh,
there at the right time as well, wasn't
yeah, yeah,
he? You
no,
know?
it was nice. Glenwyn's popped in on the chat. Hey, Paul and Des, how you doing, Glenwyn?
How you doing, Graham, mate? I've
Yeah,
gave you a shout out before, so you'll have to go back to the beginning of the show. All right.
there's he sent me a lovely little video of a little game he's at. He's like an under-19 tournament, Bay Hill, I think, over
Uh,
where he is. So it's yeah, look pretty decent, and it's quite fitting actually. So now the next little segment is we'll go on is like the under-18s.
Graham,
Um,
just before we do that,
oh,
could
go
you,
on.
at some point, could you please send Paul the video of you scoring a goal where you spun on a sixpence? Is that all right? Mate, this goal was good. I've got to say, this goal was good.
Who's this? What goal?
Glenwyn was playing a little tournament. It's only like might have been this year. And he scored a goal, mate, and he spun on a sixpence and scored it. Look, it was an amazing goal.
The FIFA was it?
I know.
You know FIFA.
FIFA. Do you hear that, Glenwyn? He's saying FIFA.
Have we got a bowler? Have we got a bowler
Glenwyn, send
in
him
the
the
room?
video, mate. Send him the video, and he'll have to do a public apology. I'm telling you.
We'll have to. I might have to add it to the stream. Go on, you have to send it over. Could be goal of the month.
Goal of the month, mate. Yeah, it was impressive.
Was it? Oh, I'll have a,
Yeah.
have a watch of that. Yeah.
Right,
Nice one, yeah.
you want to go on the under 18s now, do you?
I think, yeah, I think it was. It's quite fitting to really go over it because yeah, I went there. I was I had a capacity of 10,000 at the Emirates, and for for like 16-year-olds to go and play in that stadium, like must have been so good. And you look at them and you just think crazy. I was there. I took all three of my boys, and when I suddenly said, "Are we going to watch the under-18s?" They're like, "Oh, is Saka going to play?" I was like, "No."
Oh,
No, it's not this. You'll be watching that next generation, and so what you'll find is if you can actually look at it and you think back when you're say in your 20s, if three or four of those boys that you've just watched today go on and make it, then you could just say that. Well, yeah, I saw them at the Emirates, like when
that's
they
all part. That's all part of it, isn't it?
all part.
Letting
And
the next generation know what football's all about. Yeah.
yeah, but I started. I sat down and the game started. There's some absolute ballers in both teams, and I looked at the start, and obviously they have a South and a North division with the under-18s, and we've been struggling in our South division. I think we're like eighth of like 12, I think, and quite not great. It doesn't look great. It don't look good reading. But then Man City are like top of like their northern one, and it was like, well, I said to the boys that this is going to be a real tough game, and yeah, it was. They had a man sent off after 6 minutes with Koji Dubry. He had I'll tell you what,
He's a
he
bad kid, isn't
wore the Saka shirt, and he was almost like a double. And just the way he dribbled with the ball, and the way he was, and they're just some really good players just there, and it was some really strong performances. I mean, both teams. If
I'll
you've
be
got
honest, I watched the extended highlights. I didn't
yeah,
get the whole game. I watched the extended highlights. And it was 17 minutes of highlights. But the play, like you say, the play from both teams, in fairness, right? The play was so strong. It must have been a really good game to watch. Must have been.
well, I think the atmosphere made it really good, just for the fact that obviously there was loads of children watching as well, families, which again it goes in line with what the attendances are like with the women, where they
Yeah.
are more family orientated. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you get a lot of the youth people and a lot of probably friends and family, but it
Don't
was
matter, mate. They're there
good.
to watch, aren't they?
Just yeah, and yeah, you saw it, and I looked at that after 6 minutes, and we had a free kick, and they've got this uh, Rasiak, I think his name was.
Rasiak, yeah,
Uh,
he scored the first one, didn't he?
he
What a free
scored,
kick.
yeah. It
What a
was a
free
lovely free kick.
Yeah.
One of my
Over
boys
goal.
had it on the
Over
camera.
goal
It was
been
like
good
really
crowd
good.
at that.
Yeah, yeah, and it was nice just to see that happen, like there and then, because again, when you're up against it as well, and you're up against a big team, a good team, taking chances like that, and it was really good just to see him. I thought Ibrahim, he's the captain as well, had a really good game. He looked very tidy, and he was always dinking these kind of like searching balls off to Sosa, who's the left
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
and it was always an outlet. It was always an outlet to get us up the pitch, and we always just got in between. And I think he played the ball to Kuzudubi for the sending off, or was it? I don't know. But he played some lovely balls. Um, but to how that game ended, Man City showed the quality.
Yeah.
They had a really strong winger.
It went to extra time, didn't it? It did go to extra time, didn't it?
Went extra time, and yeah, the players were struggling they as well. Everyone was going down with cramp, and yeah, you just saw it. But this guy for Man City, no word of a lie, super strong, quite tall, but the pace of this guy, it's like everyone he kind of went up against is like bouncing off him, and just it was just yeah, it was unreal. Like number 11, I think it was. But everywhere he was a right nuisance the whole game, and yeah, it was just one of those games. And they had a number 6 as well, who just looked massive. It almost looked like he was carrying a lot of timber,
Yeah.
but he wasn't. It was just him. It was just a nice. It was a big like black boy who was just sitting there, and he normally is. A lot of it, what I realised, they're all from Manchester as well, so very like Manchester orientated,
Yeah.
and he was a defender, but he was really good on the ball, really good, really strong on the ball. So they've been playing him into the defensive midfield, and this guy was just always thereabouts, just physicality, everything. It was brilliant, but
Well, it,
there's
it
going
shows
to be
how it shows how good it is for the team that Arsenal as a club, as a club, right? Because the women, look how the women's game, and it's going to get even stronger. Look how much the women's games come on, and we are. I mean, I am now paying more attention to the under 18s, the under 23s. Um, you know, they're not as easy to access, if I'm honest, or I don't know how to go about accessing it. But if I see an extended highlights on YouTube, let's say, bang, I'm on it. I watch it, you know, and it's because I'm interested because I just want to see who is about, who's coming forward, who is shining, you know. And to be quite honest, even if you go to the ladies' game for a second, right? Um, we're missing Beth, we're missing Vivian, but Arsenal are still play. Arsenal women are still playing well, and there's a good chance we could win. They could win the Women's Champions League. Yeah, so that's a feather in their cap.
Yeah,
But as a club, as a collective, Arsenal are just getting stronger. And we, do you know what what I'm really liking for? And we kind of touched on it. But for example, 80 million for Mudryk, right? We go and get Trossard for a third of the price, and look how he's turned out. But we're doing this with youngsters as well. And
yeah,
Arsenal in the past aren't renowned for their academy players, are they? Coming through and being absolutely, you know. But we've got kids in there now that could slot, even at 16, 17 years old, or even 15 years old, right? Could probably play in the first team. And probably,
yeah. I think,
you know,
yeah, I look at it. So we've always had that academy. I think we've always had that
I know
kind of
about
thing.
the
But
academy,
it's
but I just don't think we've always had the depth.
yeah, and the pathway,
Yeah,
just actually say and being able to say, yeah, I really trust
yeah,
one of these players to come in.
yeah, exactly.
Whereas you look at it now, but I go back to it, and I said about Ibrahim, and so he's the captain. He looked very good. He did look very good. Lewis Skelly, who scored the winner,
Yeah,
was another one that was just really kind of busy. 16 years old, but he looked really good.
yeah,
Um, so, but it was just a whole load. Wanyeri again was decent, and I thought he was really good. Always looking to make something happen. He's turning sharply, moving around, changing directions, and just spraying the ball out.
yeah.
Maybe holding onto the ball a bit too much and not releasing a pass. But look, he's trying to make things happen, and
You learn from
yeah,
that, though, didn't you?
you need that. Well, no, that's it. But you need it, and again, he scores goals. So why not? If he's getting involved in scoring goals, then you can't really blame him.
I mean,
But
Even Jack Wilshere's turned around and said, Arteta's done so much for him this season in the respect of the under 18s. So
yeah,
the club is coming closer together and is becoming stronger,
yeah,
and we'll
it
all be a
really
force
is.
to be reckoned with again. You know.
Yeah, and I think what also is happening is the academy's become a lot closer to everything now because obviously the way Arteta has obviously done it, he has pulled them all in more closer, and that goes also with Edu because Edu is now still overseeing it along with
Mm.
Mertzacker. Then when you've got say even um, Jack Wilshere being in and around, look, it's great role models and Arsenal DNA in there, and
Is it not also true that sometimes the younger players as well get to train with the older ones as well?
yeah,
Yeah,
it'll always be yeah. You'll always have it where they may pop in and they'll be involved to bulk out numbers
yeah.
in certain sessions. But it's a time to kind of allow them to get it and get that experience. So
As I say, it gives them a
we've already
taste.
seen
Gives them
it.
a taste, doesn't it? You know.
We've already seen it. There's been numerous times this season where those youth players have been on the bench. I think the Ibrahim's been on the bench for
Because Cody Adunzi has as well, isn't
yeah. So you look at him. I'm just trying to think. Amari Benjamin potentially might have been there. I
he?
think one as well. He had a really good game as well.
Yeah,
He looked really
the
decent.
young lad who's the youngest player that Arsenal have had on the pitch in a Premier League game. What was his name?
Ranieri,
He's a massive lump, isn't he? Is he really fifth at getaway? He's
16 now.
16 and he's got a beard. How's that happened?
He ain't. He isn't a massive
He
player.
looks it though.
He's just. He's just. I don't know. you look at him when he picks up the ball, and he'll go one way, and he'll then go the other, and it's showed it a couple of times where he's just done a nice little skill, got past a couple of players,
Mm-hmm.
and again he's going one way, and then all of a sudden does a little turn
Just
inside,
flip
he's
it
gone out the other one. It's like
flip it
we can spread the ball out, just brilliant. It's just so good to watch, and the boys come out of that game and suddenly thought, wow. And then my littlest one, who's like 9, he goes, Dad, can you take us to go and see some more under-18s games?
There you
I was like, well, sadly not. I can't because most of them are always behind closed doors. So
Yeah,
obviously they're at the
but
training
the
ground.
seed's been planted, mate. You know what I mean?
So it looks like I'm going to be going to some under 21s, I think, because they'll be more at Boreham Wood.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Um,
they do. They're over there, aren't
yeah, so I'm off to the semi-final for the ladies.
they? Oh, yeah? Nice one.
So I've got tickets with them, so I'll be taking them over there. But yeah, I'll be trying to get to every game I can get to. Really, I think the under 21s had a game today actually against the West Ham.
Do you know what I like about this chat that we're having now for this section?
Yeah,
It's such a family affair thing. Do you know what I mean? It's the accessibility
Yeah.
of it all, isn't it? You know, and
no, that's it.
it's getting your
I look-
it's getting your boys interested at an early age. Now, maybe I'm not saying that they'll go on and be football players. I don't mean it like that. But they're going to want to go to the Arsenal. You know, they're going to want to.
Yeah.
They're going to want to go to the Emirates when they hit that age where football is everything. They're going to be glad.
That's it.
We need season tickets. I mean, it's going to cost you a packet, but you know.
Yeah,
But that's what
I've told
that's
them.
what I'm liking about
I can
it.
take mine.
It's the family aspect of it.
Yeah, that's it. No, it's really nice. I wasn't as lucky when I was younger. I had an older brother who used to take me
Right.
to games, so he used to get me in. But obviously this is when obviously it was like all standing.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
the terracing and it.
I remember Highbury, right? Youngest I went to Highbury, I was 9, maybe just going on 10, and you were that close to the pitch, yeah, because it was one of the smallest grounds in the Premiership, wasn't it? Not the Premiership, but in the league. So
Yeah.
the league in that time, it was one of the smallest grounds, yeah, and mate, the atmosphere. I must admit, Highbury would take some beating for atmosphere, if I'm honest with you. But obviously, football's moved on. But they're my memories that I hold close. You know what I mean? And I think, that was best time ever. You know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
funny how
no,
it affects
definitely
you. It's funny how it affects you.
does. It's yeah. No, I look at it. I just say I'm lucky now to be there where I am, where I've managed to get my ticket that I've been there for
I'm not
years.
jealous. I'm not jealous in the slightest, honestly.
Yeah, no, say this is it, and you look at it, and this is another kind of topic that you could probably go on for hours and talking about
Yeah.
ticketing.
Yeah.
I might actually do a little show where we actually just talk about the ticketing side because there's been huge of stuff that's come out from the club about the ticketing and the lack of tickets
Yeah.
I mean when you talk of 2 sets of memberships after season ticket holders to get tickets at the Emirates.
Yeah.
One is a silver membership, which has got say 30,000 members, but they've only got an allocation of say 2,000 tickets
Oh,
each game. Then you have the red members that are the basic kind of like membership, which is paid for. So you still pay a fee every year, but there's around 180,000 members for around 3,500 tickets.
180,000 members for 3,500 tickets.
Hence why when these tickets come out for red members on general sale, they sell out with inside five.
You've got more chance of winning the lottery.
Yeah, the other side it's mad. But they're just. But there was some brilliant pictures of like the stadium in the Leeds game, and there were row upon row of empty seats.
Oh, it's disgusting, isn't it?
And you could see it across.
Yeah.
You see it like we're obviously in the North Bank. We're looking right across, and you could see it in the upper tier. And they
Yeah,
weren't just like 4 or 5 seats; they were like about 2 or 3 rows
yeah,
of about 10 seats, and it was
yeah.
like,
I remember
what's
remember
happening here?
seeing it.
And yeah, no real concrete answers.
No,
The
no.
club are looking into it with
I'm,
their ticket inspectors.
I'm right as well. Emirates is three tiers, isn't it? Is that right?
Upper tier, not lower tier, and then you got the boardroom or the
Yeah,
boxes
where
level.
the boxes are they?
Yeah, boxes, and then above the club level. So the club
Yeah,
level's underneath it. But yeah, it's crazy. But
and yet
if
think,
only the club would have gone with David Dean's original suggestion and moved to King's Cross area.
yeah.
That'd be nice. 90,000 seat stadium.
Oh, mate, would have been amazing, wouldn't it?
It'd have
Would have
been
been
very
amazing.
nice. Yeah, but
But
it is what
it's
it is.
like the shareholders as well. I mean, we could talk about Arsenal, how they've treated the shareholders. Yeah,
Yeah,
what I mean is the general public shareholders. But
yeah,
disgusting, really.
yeah,
But I mean, I would take a share in Arsenal if I could get one. You know, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So it's a growing stock. It was, so. But yeah, that's for another show, isn't it, and a longer conversation,
yeah.
isn't it, really? But it is what it is. But you would think, like you said last week, right, against Leeds, Cronky's all about that, or the Cronkies are all about that. You'd think he'd want bums and all them seats, wouldn't you?
Well, they've not lost money on him. They've obviously been sold, but to who we don't know. Is it touts? Is it whatever? Um,
Oh, right, I'll
what
get you.
what the club's got to do is eradicate those kind of accounts that are taking those money, and this is why you're seeing say tickets for say like the last game against Wolves going for potentially 1,500 plus
Yeah,
£1,500 to go and watch a game of football. Um, and there's hundreds on these ticketing like sites. So whether or not they're speculating to obviously get source tickets, who knows, or do they actually have them? No one knows. But
no,
yeah, it's not great for the general fan.
no,
But
no.
it is what it is. But that's yeah, that's going to be for another one. But it was quite good because I was in on the Sports Trust meeting, so that was quite nice just to
Oh,
listen
yeah,
to. And they were yeah, they actually had a couple of people from Arsenal actually on the call, so it's quite good. I'll
yeah.
um I'll dig out the link actually. It's quite good like meeting actually because they done it and then posted it on YouTube, so that was quite nice for
I'll get that
transparency.
look if I can find it.
Yeah, I'll try and locate it again and
Yeah,
yeah,
that would be an interesting watch, actually.
yeah. Say it is good just to hear what they say because they are trying to be a bit more transparent and open, which
Yeah,
is obviously always good. So yeah, but I think that's it for this preview show, Des.
yeah, that's cool, mate. Thanks for having me on. It's been
Yeah,
brilliant. I love being on these shows, man. I love talking about Arsenal.
yeah. No, that's it. That's why we do it.
Yeah, that's why we do it, mate. That's why we do it. And I tell you what, Sunday, come on, you Gunners, stick it up.
Yeah. When Glenwyn said, "Yeah, hey Paul, it was me scoring, lol." So yeah,
It was Brendan scoring. It was
so I'll
a
get that goal sent over to me, and I'll have a watch, Glenwyn, and yeah, I'll let you know if
it would have gone down well in any Arsenal game, mate. I'm telling you, big time.
yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, no, it's been a good one. As I say, here's to 3 points.
You know what it is, mate? It's just two mates chatting about Arsenal, right? With a load of people butting in.
Yeah,
No, I'm only joking. But it's just two mates, and usually you have more than me as well, which is good. But two mates talking about Arsenal, talking about something that we love, and you can't go wrong.
yeah, no, that's it. And we missed out on Richard. I know he sent me a few little stats as well about the game.
Oh, he would have had something to say as well, wouldn't he? Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I'm going to read his team. I can't
No,
go in.
go on, do it. I want to hear it.
His starting lineup: Ramsdale, White, Saliba if he is fit. Otherwise, Rob Holding, Gabriel, and Tierney. Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Martinelli, Jesus, and Saka.
You can't leave out Zinni at the moment, though, mate.
This is
I feel so sorry. I feel so sorry for Tierney, right? Because he's a great player, and I've got a really bad feeling that we might lose him in the summer. But
yeah.
but you cannot leave out Zinni at the moment.
Yeah. No, I agree. But this was something else I was potentially going to say about, and someone else was talking about it, and just we talk about the mobility of Liverpool, and you're suddenly thinking if you've got a player that is keeping width on that left hand side and looking to bomb on and really cause threats and push those wing backs back or left back, right back, back up the pitch, then Tierney would probably be that one. But whereas if you're trying to just take hold of that midfield and keep the possession, which is obviously what Arteta wants to do, that's why you'd have the Zinchenko popping up here, there, and everywhere, and doing it. So look, there's two. There's again, it's one of those, in it. It's you could think about it, but the way I've just said, but then you could also think the way we are playing with Zinchenko, that's the way Arteta wants us to be playing week in, week out. And if Tierney can't do that, or there's a drop off from Tierney and Zinchenko, which there will be because he isn't that player. It's not natural. It's not natural to be that. I don't know. Is Zinchenko just a freak? You know what I mean? Just to play in that kind of role when you suddenly think he's just good in so many different areas.
Well, Tierney is a great player in his own right. He's a good player in his own right. Okay?
Yeah.
He does need to be more careful in the shower. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even if he hadn't been injured, I don't. You know what I mean? If he hadn't had that long-term injury, I don't know if he would have played, and that's the sad part of it, really.
Yeah.
Where, as well, and this must stick into Tierney a bit, yeah, because if Xhaka hadn't been playing as well, you could see that Zinni might have been. It might have been the other way around. It might have been Xhaka off and Zinni in midfield with Tierney at the back.
Yeah. He seems very reluctant to do that.
Babies, isn't it?
Yeah, you would have thought potentially he might have tried that though at some point in the season. You're suddenly thinking if he actually thought he would do that. I'm not saying he obviously he can't do it because obviously he can play in that position.
Yeah, of course.
But he's resisted to ever do that, and he's thinking like, well, what?
Because when he was initially brought in, I thought he was going to be Xhaka,
Yeah.
changing, whatever.
Yeah.
But then, as we say, the X-Man this season, he's just been something else.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's one of those conundrums, Des, unfortunately.
Leave it to the chat to put their opinions in on it, So then, they've got as much say as we have. They may not be right, but they've got as much say as we have.
But yeah, so Richard says his heart says 2-1, but head and form says 0-0. And the draw. So he's going for the draw.
My heart said 3-0, my head said 2-1. Yeah, but draws, Arsenal don't do draws, mate. Not this season.
No. So, yeah. He says eight more points make Champions League a certainty.
Yeah, that's true. He's very right. But
yeah, it's almost there. But we're almost at St Tottenham's Day as well.
Yeah.
So, so we're only a game off that. So, on the up.
That's exactly.
But no, it's all good, mate. Right, lovely. Brilliant first show, mate. No worries. But yeah, been watching in the North Bank. See you later. This is the Bray, Des, the Enforcer. See you on Sunday for the big Sunday show. Come on, you Arsenal.